economies, but they're threatening food security, they're threatening livelihoods, they're threatening Jamaica's economic independence. And Mr. President, I want to allude to our growing dependence on imports, because this situation calls into sharp focus an urgent need for us to fortify our agricultural sector and encourage more Jamaicans to invest, to expand their farms, and to innovate in agriculture. It is important at this point, as a nation seeking growth, that we ensure that we protect our farmers and we make agriculture a safe and lucrative business for Jamaicans. Now, we on this side, we have said that we wish to reduce the food import bill by 25% because we believe that we have to boost local production. And to boost local production, Mr. President, we have to ensure that we protect those who are in the industry. And so, yes, the penalties are one measure, but we have to go further than that, I believe, and provide some more support to our farmers so that they can invest in increased security for their farms. And that is something that I believe will help to stem the tide of predial larceny. We on this side, we have also spoken about investment in agriculture in terms of, as Senator Brown mentioned, the Agricultural Development Fund, which will provide the much needed support to our farmers and would afford them greater protection from disasters, from loss of property, as well as provide the stimulus for the enhanced use of technology in agriculture, which we so desperately need to see more of. But Mr. President, legislation is good, but it is not enough. It is not enough. And enforcement and implementation is often where we fall down. And I'm craving, I'm hoping, as somebody who interacts with a lot of farmers, to see more real investment and resources being provided to our small farmers. Farmers need to know that they're not alone in what they're doing. And so, Mr. President, RADA is there as an organization to assist our farmers. But we need to see more. We need to see more support for our farmers coming out of RADA. And we spoke earlier about the cost of corruption in agriculture. And I know that we don't want to touch it, but it is a real matter. Because when there are implications of fertilizer not being given to those who need it most, but being sold, that is a dangerous road to go down. And whether or not,
on a point of order once more. Mr. President, yes, lies bite. There was no, the Auditor General's report did not allege any corruption, and it did not, what it said expressly was that they were concerned that they did not have the beneficiary list in all of the bags, and they were provided. There is, Mr. President, no allegation of corruption comprised in the Auditor General's report, and any attempt to try to have those things embedded in Hansard or that fertilizer was sold.
it's in the report.
They have been responded, so I will check on that as well. But you guys are very, I just have to say, Mr. President, that these utterances that are being made demonstrate the utmost irresponsible and disregard for the importance of the relationships between Jamaica and the countries who have been providing such strong support for our farmers, which they have felt and has increased their productivity undeniably and indisputably.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. It seems like the minister is more concerned about relationships than the farmers who need these resources. It is in the report. Check it out. It's a Google away. It's a Google away. Read the report.
All right.
Mr. President, I was on the point. I was on the point of corruption, where resources are directed away from the people who need it most. I can talk from my farmers in Muirhouse who, after the hurricane, were supposed to get fertilizer, and them say no PNP farmer now get it. That is corruption. When we talk about agriculture, listen, you can't tell me the experience, you know, it's me walk and talk with them. That's right. Mr. President, we must recognize in this country, we must recognize
the standing orders, that is correct, sir.
And Gabriela Morris?
I'm making a point of order.
What's
If you
the point
listen
of
to it, you will
order?
hear it. That the standing order requires that the speaker be heard in silence. The minister,
All right,
the
Senator
minister
Brown.
and government
Senator
leader
Brown.
has been interrupting her.
Yeah,
so
Senator
I'm
Brown.
asking that she be allowed to
Yeah.
conclude her speech in silence.
Yes.
Consistent
All right,
with the
thank
standing
you.
order.
Thank you, Senator Brown. And I hope you take your own messaging. All right.
Mr. President,
Continue, Senator
thank you,
Morris.
thank you. I want to make my point very clear, absolutely clear, right? This is not something that I am making up. It is the reality. I spoke of the report, and it is there for all to see, right? I spoke about what is happening in our communities with the distribution of resources to our farmers. And it is something that we need to take stock of if we want to see worthwhile investment in agriculture. That is the point. In terms of expanding and growing the industry, one of the things that I hope to see, and I am passionate about as well, is more for young people entering into the agricultural sector and becoming a part of being producers and not just consumers. Mr. President, I know that there are programs under 4-H. I do, and I accept that. The 4-H has long been a champion for agriculture and for youth in agriculture. But what I want to see is further expansion of that. I meet upon, I encounter so many young people who have said that they are struggling to find land. They have the interest, they have the skills, they have the ability, but they want land. And so one of the things that the PNP has committed to doing once we become government is ensuring that we prioritize land for agriculture. Because this is how, Mr. President, we are going to see growth. Not the promised 5 in 4, but real growth. As I close, Mr. President, I want to express the support, or my support, our support, for our farmers who continue despite the challenges. And I want to tell them that help is on the way. Because while we see that there are some people who want to be the face of food, we are here to ensure that real change takes place in the agricultural sector, because we believe in agriculture. We have seen the stories, and I've said since I came into this parliament, that side would rather to bury their heads in the sand and to out the little fire around them while the rest of the country is burning down. Because we are seeing our farmers talking about undercutting in the price of onions. And we have a responsibility to ensure that we protect our local farmers. We have the responsibility to ensure that we bring down imports. And while that is continuing, I am not satisfied. But I look forward, under the next administration, to having a government who does not only give lip service to agriculture, but is ready to make real, meaningful change. May it please you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Morris. Senator Seabright.
Thank you, Mr. President. I decided to chime in full support of this act to amend the Predial Larceny Prevention Act. And I find it quite interesting because there's absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind that when it comes to agriculture and the work that has been put in by successive ministers of agriculture under this administration, it really is second to none. But beyond that is also the sheer responsiveness of this administration, and we have to certainly give credit to Minister Floyd Green and his technical team at the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries for listening first and foremost to the concerns of the farmers, many of whom are subsistence farmers, listening to the concerns of stakeholders, and systematically and strategically working to address the issues one by one in a sensible fashion. So we know it is a silly season, Mr. President, and of course, everybody have to, people blow hard, eh? It is what it is. But I am absolutely stunned that we are gotten to the point where this absolutely positive amendment to the Predial Larceny Act, which will benefit farmers and people all across Jamaica, and thousands of families, is being stirred into some unnecessary political banter on the part of the opposition. But I know they need the attention and they need the views. So I guess that is where they stand. So as the Memorandum of Objects and Reasons says, the principal purpose of the Predial Larceny Prevention Act is to, among other things, make provision for the appointment of agricultural wardens to detect the commission of any offences under the Act or the offences specified under the first schedule to the Act, and to otherwise carry out the functions prescribed under the Act and for other matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. It's also critically important because, as you know, my colleague opposite, Senator Allen, the agricultural industry is absolutely critical to the tourism industry, and both are interconnected. We have 2,000 small farmers on our Agri-Linkages Exchange platform, which was developed in conjunction with the Ministry of Agriculture and its RADA, Rural Agricultural Development Authority. And those are 2,000 small farmers, primarily, all of them, with families spread across Jamaica, who have sold in excess of 1.2 billion Jamaican dollars in produce to the tourism sector. And that's just on the Alex platform. We're not including, in no way including, all the other arrangements that are going on there that probably amount to millions, if not billions, of Jamaican dollars. And a number of them have said to us in the space because we have very good relationships with pineapple farmers, strawberry farmers, for a lot of vegetable farmers and so on, that the issue of predial larceny is a serious one, and they want attentiveness and they want more responsiveness. Agriculture is the mainstay of most Jamaicans. And with the enhanced policing that has been taking place over the last several years, the growing confidence in our national security infrastructure, I think it is absolutely commendable that we have sought to ensure that our farmers now get a piece of that positiveness happening in the national security frontier, where we are seeing over 40% decline in murders and other serious crimes. So I am in standing full support, and certainly the tourism sector, the industry on a whole, is in absolute and full support of this amendment. And we understand the importance of government listening, being responsive, being attentive, and being caring as it relates to the interests of our people. I thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Seabright. Can you assist Senator Morrison, please? No, it was in respect to turn on. I'm certain that there was a little challenge, Senator Brown. Senator Morris.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I am standing in the stead of the leader of opposition business.
Speak from a seat that you may want to hold on to.
Not for too long, Mr. President. Not for too long. Mr. President, I rise to make my contribution to the debate on this very important bill, because